you can go ahead and get started, inshallah.
Okay, cool.
And like always, everyone, we ask that you mute your microphones, inshallah. Thank you.
Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
That's Ajib. Ajib, you on the line? No. MashaAllah.
Assalamu alaikum, Brother Frank. How you feeling today?
Good. Walaikum salam. Alhamdulillah. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. Good, good.
Walaikum salam, Sheikh Ameen.
How you feeling, Frank? I was thinking about you this morning.
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. And the family's good?
Everybody's fine. Alhamdulillah. And I appreciate your comment about the mosque. I was wondering whether I should go.
Alhamdulillah.
Well, you know, don't let my comment about that stop you from your investigation. I'm just saying I wouldn't at this point consider it the wisest thing to do. You know? But of course that's me. Like a lot of people say I'm over cautious. Probably right.
Well, I'm overcautious as well, so I just appreciate your comment because I was wondering in my mind, so I agree with you.
Right, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, Habib, it looks, I'm having a little problem going.
Okay, okay. Let me know when you start the recording, inshallah.
Bismillah.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره ومقداره العظيم أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وأزواجه أمهات المؤمنين وذرياته وأهل البيت كما صليت على إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم إني أسألك من كل خير نسألك من محمد نبيك صلى الله عليه وسلم وأعوذ بك من كل شر نستعاذك من محمد نبيك صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم اغفر لنا ما قدمنا وما أخرنا وما أسررنا وما أعلنا وأنت أعلم منا ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا النار أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. How's everyone doing? This is Brother Habib Rasul Miller, welcoming all of you to our weekly Maliki Fiqh class, hosted by Nasrul Ilm America, with our teacher Shaykh Ameen Abdul Awwal. And alhamdulillah, as always, I give a little brief introduction. Shaykh Ameen has been studying and teaching this subject matter for over 50 years. He's a student of the renowned luminary from Azhar, the Egyptian scholar, Dr. Suleiman Dunya, who is in Tasawwuf, theology, and philosophy at Azhar University, which is a feat to say the least. And the lessons that we are learning from Shaykh Ameen are lessons that he took from Dr. Suleiman Dunya from the book Ashar As-Saghir, which is one of the highest level Maliki Fiqh authoritative textbooks written by the great Sheikh Ahmed Dardir, And for people who don't know, Shaykh Ahmed Dardir radiallahu anhu was also a great scholar of theology and fiqh and tasawwuf. And he was a big wali of Allah too. There are miracles attributed to him when the Egyptian governor was oppressing the people. Where
The voice is breaking up.
he came and he supported the people. I'm sorry. Is that better, Shaykh Ameen?
Yeah, it keeps breaking up. I don't know why. Try it again, inshallah.
Inshallah. Is this a little bit better? Alhamdulillah. So Shaykh Ahmed Dardir, the author of Ashar al-Saghir, there are miracles attributed to him when he was standing up for the people against the oppressive Egyptian government. So this is just to give you a little bit of insight, inshallah, into the lineage of this blessed knowledge that we're taking. And as always, I always, congratulate you all and encourage you all to continue to draw from the well of knowledge and light of Shaykh Ameen, who is one of the only, if not only, people we have in this part of the world, native to this part of the world, English speaker, who has this level of mastery over the material as well. So without further ado, I'm going to be quiet, and I'm getting the message that my signal is weak, and maybe that's why my voice is going in and out. So I'll see if I can do something about that by the time of the question and answer period. But I also want to let everyone know, inshallah, we're going to be taking questions. So as you're listening to the Shaykh, please type your questions in the chat box, inshallah. As you're listening to the Shaykh, please type your questions in the chat box, and at the end of the class, we will answer as many of them as we have time, inshallah. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to my teacher, Shaykh Ameen. Bismillah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وصلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وتابعين لهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. اللهم صل على محمد النبي الأمي وأزواجه أمهات المؤمنين وذرياته وآل بيت كما صليت على إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد وصلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أنا بعد. So I'm happy to be back and discuss with you some more from the book of Shaykh Sagrir. I know we're in a very difficult time, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala don't make mistakes. He makes no mistakes. Everything that we're dealing with today, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows about it and orchestrated it. There is nothing that can act on its own without the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have to consider we're in a big test. Tests are always useful, especially to the believers, because with the test, you have the ability to go higher and higher. With the test, unfortunately, some people go lower and lower when it comes to the obeying of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and following the right directions. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not expect from us more than we have the ability to do. But we have to be cautious that we don't just shun our duty saying that we can't do it without at least the effort to try. In this case, we have to take these things very serious for our next life. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam reported that Islamic knowledge is like our blood in our body. Somebody sent me this side tradition this morning. I didn't understand why he sent me this. And so I texted him back. I said, well, I've been teaching this same thing for many years, that, you have to be careful on who you take your religion from, because it's like a part of our blood. It's like our blood in our body. And, everything in our life is based on it. So he texted me back. He said, yeah, Shaykh, I was just thinking about you always used to say that to us, because I didn't understand why he had sent me, this message that I say all the time. In any case, I want to reiterate it with you. A sister told me yesterday, she called me from someplace, and she said, there are so many different things online, especially now that we're all kind of shut in. There's so many things, classes and things online, and she was just calling to find out about the time for this class again. She said, so many of them. So I said, well, to myself, I thought, oh, I'm so out of step, because I didn't think about how many classes it was, that, this stuff is going on everywhere. I didn't really think about that. I kind of have a singular way of thinking. So now that I understand that, I guess it is very, very necessary for me to reiterate that hadith to you, to be careful who you take your information from. I have people asking me the strangest things. Because they're getting strange information from people. Somebody said to me yesterday, another caller, that they were having a problem in their home because they didn't know which thing was correct to do, because somebody in their community, a person that they take knowledge from or something, was telling them he had the ability, more so than the medical people, to tell the people to come to the masjid, stand in line, and make their prayer. So they wanted to know, what did I think about that? And I told them that the person, in spite of him having good intentions, he was not accurate in his information. Because something simple, let's say you go online to Mecca right now, or to Medina Munawwara. Right now, you will see them in video, on live video, praying separately, not standing together. You will see them sitting separately, not sitting close to each other. And you will see some people who are the employees actually walking through the people to separate them, to tell them just too close to each other, this type of thing, So you have to imagine, if in Mecca and Medina they are adhering to these rules, then these rules are the rules. And, use your intelligence that a person who has studied Arabic or memorized some hadith or Quran is not a medical doctor. He is not a person who his information could supersede the authority of someone or some people who have been trained to help the people to be healthy. So I'm asking you, like, when you study jurisprudence, you have to use the same method. You want to look at who you're taking your knowledge from. What are their qualifications? That's like if you ask me how to repair a TV, I'm going to send you to Haj Daoud because I don't know nothing about repairing a TV. And it would be asinine for me to even attempt to repair somebody's TV that I know nothing about. So, inshallah, whenever you're dealing with your subject matter, whenever you're dealing with your life, you want to keep these things orderly in your mind. Who am I taking this information from? Does that person, is he a good representative of that information? What I mean by that is, you have to live what you're talking. When I was with Dr. Dunya, what I most enjoyed was just sitting and watching his movements. Just sitting and watching his actions. See, listen to when he was talking to other people. How did he address them? These type of things are priceless. I learned more in Islam just sitting and watching Dr. Dunya than him opening a book and showing me from a book. So, the people of Tasawwuf, they understand this quite well. They make some talk regarding just being in the presence of pious people. What benefits you get from it. See? And now today, I understand it more than ever that, you are who you try to be like, and in order to try to be like someone, you have to stay with them some time to see who they are. So those people who keep sending me these different things from the internet, I don't know who those people are. I find it very difficult just because somebody with a beard and a kufi is online and he makes some kind of talk. And I'm not saying that I don't believe some of them, but the only way I can believe them is the same way Dr. Dunya taught me about the Bible. He said, when you measure the Bible and you want to see its accuracy, you measure it by the Quran. If you envision that the Bible can be more accurate than the Quran, then you don't know your homework. You have to go back and study history again. Because when you want to know right from wrong from the Bible, you don't use the Bible to check itself. You use the Quran to check the information to see whether it's right or wrong. And this is why the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sent to us, to give us the ability to know right from wrong from the Quran, so that for the rest of our life, until we meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we would have the ability to know what is right from what is wrong. Everything else that came before it, we don't have to listen to that anymore, because we know for sure that the Quran, the last sent thing to the humanity, the last sent revelations to the humanity, the last sent of history of the humanity, came to us from its last and final prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, protected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala until the end of our days. So anybody who wants to be successful, they know if we follow that message, we will not be lost. So we're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who we know makes no mistakes. He is perfectly aware of everything that we are dealing with, to give us the strength to pass these tests, give us the ability to know right from wrong through his information that he left with Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam through the angel Gabriel alayhi salam. Let us have the strength to follow the knowledge that we learn, that we know is true. And under all conditions, let us always try to find the thing that Allah loves and to avoid the things that he does not like. Okay, let me go to the lesson. You know, I noticed that in my older age, I have become grumpy. So a lot of the things that people come to me with now, they're not getting a response that they anticipated. I just don't feel like I'm running out of time. I feel like I'm running out of time, so I don't have time to play no games. I try to go straight, you know, and sometimes it may come out like kind of like difficult for the people to, you know, to understand why I'm like that, but you can't judge a person until you walk some distance in their shoes, you see? Okay. Allahumma salli wa sallam wa barak ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Once again, these subjects that I'm doing here, doing it online is not like doing it in person. But according to a lot of the brothers and sisters, it is helping to give them more insight into the way it should be. So I will try and continue as much as I possibly can to aid the community of Muslims. This subject is called Tahara. Actually, this book is called the Book of Purity. These are my own thoughts about it, was that we needed to clean up our act. When I say we, I mean the Muslims in my vicinity here, that our understanding of Islam was so negligent, and the people were so hard to convince that they had to learn, that they were taking bad information and keep portraying it as good information because they didn't want to have to think of themselves as needing to learn. So that in itself is a bad sign. Anytime a person thinks they don't have to learn, they got a serious problem. Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he let us understand that learning continues your whole lifetime. You can't think that you've reached the pinnacle where, you know, my students used to do this to me, you know, when I went on hiatus one time, and then, you know, they came back and everybody was saying to me, oh, Shaykh, yeah, this Imam and this Shaykh and this scholar and this, you know, and this hadith. And so I said, oh, okay. So what you think is that because you wasn't talking to me every day, that my information and knowledge stopped. And yours went on, but mine stopped. So now you know more than me. So, Yani, you know, a lot of the ways of man is like really inconsistent, and you know, we don't always use our brain. So if you're still learning, that means that I stopped learning, or that Imam Shamsi stopped learning, or, you know, it doesn't work that way, because the people who have some knowledge, they want to expound their knowledge even more, because it's like a thirst or a hunger. See, you eat a little bit of this knowledge and you want to eat more. You don't just eat a little bit and then don't want to eat no more. No, that's not the way it goes. You eat some and then you look in the, what else can I have to eat? You see? So the person never stops this learning. In any case, there's two requirements of prayer. One is the purification of kabis, and the other is the purification of hadis. Al-kabis means the body of the impurity. Now, I talked to you for the last couple of weeks about hadis, the spiritual impurity. Hadis asgar, the small one that needs wudu, and hadis akbar, the big one that needs ghusl. Now we're talking about al-kabis. It means the body, the physical body of the impurity. It is obligatory and necessary to remove the decision of impurity by using only way, the right way, by using natural water to remove the impurity from your clothes and all of the things and articles that you carry while in prayer, and from your body, and from the place where you stand to pray. Okay, big statement. This big statement requires a lot of investigation. When Habib Rasul, Dr. Habib, was a student, he used to ask me so many questions on this subject so that he would always have in his mind a clarity regarding his purity. His stance on purity had to be mental as well as physical. So he constantly used to ask me to make himself feel like I'm strong enough. I know exactly, what I need to do to be in this condition of purity on a consistent basis. I admired that because when people are asking questions, a lot of times they have to think, I wonder how my question is perceived. Maybe I better not say that. This is not the right way. The right way is not to care about the perception of the question. The right way is to continue trying to find the right knowledge for this thing until it clicks in your mind that now it's stuck there and you know exactly what is necessary to fulfill what you're trying to fulfill. My teacher used to say there's no such thing as a stupid question. See? Even me, myself, sometimes I have to remember that. Because, as I say, in my old age now, sometimes people ask me things and I just like, what the heck are you asking me? My patience I have to work on that more in my old age. But there's no such thing as a stupid question. And even the students sometimes, they say, well, Shaykh, how do you answer somebody who asks you the same thing so many times? I said, well, you answer them the same way they ask you. Each time, you take it as it's important. And you try to find the right way to answer them so that eventually it locks in their brain. They won't have to ask that anymore because now they understand it. See? So, Allahumma salli wa salam wa barak ala sayyidina Muhammad. Let us say, they're going to give you an example here. Let us say, if some urine touches your body, touches your your clothes, or a place of prayer. The Islamic legislatures say that this part, which was touched by the urine, became impure, and that it can be made pure again by washing it only with natural water. So if you try to wash it with anything else, the decision of the impurity will not go away. See? You may wash, let's say you wash it with milk. You wash it with Gain, the detergent. And when you finish washing it and you look at it, you won't see the impurity. When you smell it, you won't smell impurity, you'll smell the product that you washed it with. And so the average mind would say, oh, it's clean now. Well, this is why I teach you all the time, the decision of Islam, the knowledge of Islam says something different. See? We have to judge it. We have to judge it by what Islamic legislature says is the decision. The decision is that you can't remove the impurity, the decision of the impurity, by any way other than natural water. So it may look clean if you wash it with milk. It may smell clean if you washed it with Gain. But the decision of the impurity will remain. And you cannot say you're free to use that garment, that place of prayer, until the decision has been removed. So, if you use anything besides natural water, even let's say you take flowers and when you water the flowers, the water comes off the flowers and it goes into the vase. And so you say, oh, well, that's water. I can use that to wash the impurity away. Actually, you can wash away the body of the impurity. You can wash away its color. You can wash away its smell. But the water from flowers is not natural water. So in fact, the decision of the impurity is going to remain until you use pure natural water. So how do you know how do you know about this decision? How do you know about this water? Water is something Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us. It's not something that can be invented. And there's nothing else on the face of the earth that's exactly water. Only water is water. So my teacher used to ask us, how does water taste? How does water smell? How does water look? And so the people used to try to, we used to try to find a description for water. So instead say to us, well, let me save you some time. There is nothing else like water. You know, the way you know water is because it's water. You see? So if it changes its taste, its color, and its smell, it's not water. So anything that's not water cannot be used to remove the decision of impurity. What's important in this statement? The big thing, now you know how to define water. What is this thing that we must have to use for our cleanliness from impurity? What is that? How do we know it? Can we use anything else besides it? So all you have to do, go to the faucet. If you're in America here where we are, and well, I wouldn't drink the water in Jersey. I'd have to use bottled water to drink it, But let's say you want to know about your water. Taste, color, and smell defines water. See? The biggest part of this subject, yani wa hukmahu khamgarihi, yani the water is something that it changes based on what goes into it. So if what goes into it changes its taste, color, and smell, it's no longer water. It's something else. Now, Junior used to say, the water of the flower, it doesn't taste the same as pure natural water. It's still clean by that standard, but for the decision, the removal of the impurity by the decision of the legislatures of Islam, it needs pure natural water. Nothing else can do it. Okay, we started a little bit late, so I'm gonna stop this part so you can ask me some questions. This is the biggest difference. The biggest difference that I can see, one of the biggest differences that I can see in doing these classes online is that it's different than doing it sitting in the masjid or in school or something, is that people can't respond to you like, in the same way. We need the moderator to take the questions and then, all of it. And you can't look them in the eye. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam was keen on looking the person in the eye when he was speaking with them. I really like doing that because I get a chance, if I scan a room and I'm talking to the people, I get a chance to look at them and see how are the lessons going into their head. To some extent, I can tell he's getting it, he's not getting it, he needs a little help with this part, until eventually, when you look at them, after some time, you see, oh, they got it. Alhamdulillah. So for all those students that I've had over the years, I can honestly say each one of you I have taken as if you were an individual. See? And that, I'm thankful that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us Dr. Suleiman Dunya to help us to learn Islam, because we still be in the dark ages. Okay, I'm going to stop this part of the lesson right now. He says something about what about the things in our tap water. I'm going to answer you. That's a good question. That's a good question. So in this jurisprudence, of course, every place is not the same. So pure natural water, let's say in the Serengeti, may not be the same as the pure natural water in the Alps. Why is that? Because the way the water comes to you is not the same. What I mean by that is when the water, it goes through the land to reach us, to reach you. Some mountain water, when it comes through the mountain, it picks up some things from the mountain that is considered as natural. See? So if you live in that area, you will get used to something that tastes a little maybe metallic. That's not going to change the decision for cleanliness and purity, because that's a natural phenomenon that happens as the water goes through that land. See? If the water goes through a place, an area that has a lot of grass and trees or something, that water may taste slightly different than the water that goes through the rocks. So Islam takes this into consideration and says that the way the water comes to you, you have to include that in its natural abilities. So if water comes through our pipes, all our pipes don't have exactly the same, it's not going to taste exactly the same. Like the water in Far Rockaway tastes fresher than the water in Jersey. The reason is because the way the water comes to you, some things that have happened on the land throughout this period is embedded in the way the water comes through that area. So unless it's actually disgusting, you know, like when water comes out rusty, you're not going to use that water if you know that it has the ability to come out clean if it runs more. So you let it run enough so that the rustiness goes away. Still may have a little slight bad taste, you know. Water in Jersey, I can't drink it. I have bottled water. But some people who have been living there a long time, they drink it. See, I can't drink it. But when I want to make wudu or ghusl, I can use it. I just don't feel like, I don't want to have to taste that. It's disgusting to me. In any case, the way the water traverses the land and what properties it picks up in its natural order, we consider that still as water that can be used for purity. Okay, I'm going to stop here. Let you think about that. It's okay if you don't get it the first 10 times. That doesn't bother me. That doesn't bother me at all. What bothers me is people not trying to do it on their own, that like using their own mind and then coming back and checking and saying, did I get it? Because this is what I think. You know, I like that. I like, you know, in the university, they used to say, we're not here just to teach you decisions. We're here to teach you how to think. See, how to think. And I thought that was the whole idea. You see? Okay, anyway. I'm looking at the screen like that because there's messages coming up in the screen and I'm trying to understand exactly what they're asking me, or if they're just sending messages to everybody.
Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh. Those are questions. So if you want to move to the
Okay.
question and answer, I can start asking them, inshallah, if you like.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay.
Alaikum salam.
So the first question that we have here, Jazakallah khair, thank you, Shaykh. The first question that we have here, well, okay, I'll ask this question. Someone asked a follow-up question. Okay, Muhammad, you have to hold on 1 second. Someone asked, for clarity, the water coming out of our taps is considered pure and natural water, even if it has a chlorine smell.
The chlorine stuff, the jurists allow it if you can't avoid it. See? But let's say you have a choice of using the water with the chlorine stuff and using some other water. You should use the water that doesn't have the chlorine stuff. But if you can't avoid it because all the water has the chlorine stuff, then you consider that as your water, as your natural water. Yeah, I answered you. You can go on.
Yeah, Sheikh. The second question is excuse me. Hold on a second, Mohammed. This question is from one of the viewers on Facebook. They ask, what about our laundry? Do our clothes remain dirty after we add detergent or as we add detergent and bleach while washing?
Allahumma salli wa salam mubarak ala Sayyidina Muhammad. So they're asking questions that, of course, we're going to cover in this course, but for the sake of brevity, the water itself, at least one washing, even bigger than that. In the month of Imam Malik, rahmatu alayhi, see, I was getting ready to try to take a shortcut. In Islamic information, in Islamic knowledge, both the learning of it and administering of it, there is no shortcuts. Can't use shortcuts. So, in the month of Imam Malik, rahmatu alayhi, to judge something as clean and pure, in this madhab, it's not how many times you wash something. Like some other madhab may say, you got to wash it 7 times, or some other madhab may say, you got to wash it 5 times, and it's clean. Well, Imam Malik, rahmatullahi alayhi, that's not in our madhab. What it says is that you know it's clean when the water that comes off of the thing is as clean as the water that went into the wash. See? So your rinse cycle is how you're going to tell whether or not your thing is clean by its decision. So at least some of that washing has to be done with the pure natural water. And then whatever other things have been added, by the time that the cycle ends, you will have washed with pure natural water at the end, and you will see that the garment, what comes off of the garment, is now the same as the water that went in from the beginning of the washing. When that happens, according to Imam Malik rahmatullahi alayhi, it's clean. So how do you know? Taste, color, and smell. Some things, the color is difficult to remove. Some stain, those are stains, difficult to remove. But the water that comes off of it, even with the stain, is not going to keep coming off with the color of the stain, because it's hard to remove. Once it's in the garment, that's just part of the garment. See? But the water itself that comes off it is going to be back to clean water. So this is how in the madhab Imam Malik rahmatullahi alayhi, we know when something is considered as clean or pure is that it returns to the right taste, color, and smell of natural water. Okay. As you like.
Shaykh, similarly, what about the smell? What if you have a garment that gets dirty and you wash it through the full cycle? The water that goes in is the same as the water that comes out, but it maintains some kind of bad odor. What is the ruling on
And that's
that?
the one you put the gain in. When once you can see that the garment, the water from the garment is now clean again, but it still has some kind of smell, because some smells are hard to remove too, not just the stain, but sometimes, depend on, how did that smell come about? Well, sometimes it's a little hard to remove, but if you put something else in it and you have washed it, at least one time with the cycle of pure natural water, and you can't see anything bad coming off of it anymore, but you can still smell something from that, whatever that thing infected your garment, then you can use something to take the smell away. You can use something to take the smell away. But it hasn't, that thing cannot stop you from using it for purity. You see, that smell is apart from the garment, not apart from the water. So what's coming off, you may have to wash it a lot of times to remove that smell. See? But if you put the gain in there, and the gain can make it smell better, and you've washed it enough times that whatever that thing is, the body of it is gone. It's not the water itself, but the garment is difficult to remove that last smell. See, because some things you can't remove the stain, and some things you can't remove the smell. Me, if I get to a point that something you can't remove the smell, I'm gonna get rid of the garment. I'm gonna get rid of that thing, because my nature just couldn't take keep smelling something on me. I would say, oh no, this garment has had it. See, but you can use Gain or something else, some other detergent, in the cycles, and that should remove that last lingering smell. If you can take it, Islam will let you do it. But me personally, I wouldn't use a garment that the smell has become so bad that I got to use a special treatment just to remove that smell. So, as you like.
Alhamdulillah. Shaykh, as of right now, that's all the questions people have typed in the text. I don't know if anybody wants to type a question now, or Sidi Ishaq, if you see any questions from the Facebook or the YouTube that you want to read.
Oh, you have two different ways of looking at questions?
Yes. And I only have access to one. I guess I could access the other one. So let me just take a glance at the YouTube as well, inshallah.
So generally some things happen naturally. Your wife, mother, daughter, these people who generally, not that they have to, I don't want to get no messages saying, oh, Shaykh, you stop making us like servants. I'm not telling you that that these are the only people who can, wash clothes. I'm saying Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to try and do these type of things on his own. But because there's a reward in it that his wife could receive, they would not want him to do that. They would want him to just let them do it.
You know you like to dabble.
Yeah, they would want him to do it so that they want to do it so that he wouldn't have to do it. It would save him time, and also they would get a reward from it. So they would wash his clothes. But usually the women who do this all the time, they look and they know when the thing has become clean again. See, I do not remember my wife telling me that something she couldn't remove a smell. I do remember sometimes a stain that can't come out easily. And this is what Dr. Dunya used to say. But smell, I don't remember her telling me that. And I don't remember Dr. Dunya saying that. Probably because after you wash something enough times, unless there's some permanent damage to the garment, the smell is not going to remain but too long, you see? So, I have to think about that because I don't remember the smell. Something would have to be really filthy for it to have a smell, or even maybe let's say a skunk or something, that type of a toxic smell that got into a garment. Yeah, I would get rid of the garment. Okay, as you like.
Shaykh, this is a really kind of a two-part question from Brother Frank. His general question is about halal food and what a person should do if they don't have access to it. And the follow-up question is it permissible for a person in that situation to eat kosher food?
So, Allahumma salli wa sallam mubarak ala Sayyidina Muhammad. One of the allegations against man will be in regards to his food, in regards to food. And some people that are so, what do we call them? Foodies. We call them foodies. They're so intent on food that they don't always judge it adequately because they want the food. So they'll make excuses. See, they want the food. So they're not going to say, these foodies, they don't look at something and say, wait a minute, is that halal? They'll say, oh, I'm pretty sure that's halal, and they'll eat the food. So Islam says, well, that's not going to fly with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because the first thing you're going to ask is, why'd you have to eat that food? You could have ate something else that you knew 100% was lawful. Why take a chance? See, so that's where being the foodie comes into play. Because the foodie, that's a naf. You understand? It's a naf. Food is a naf. When it's done too much. See? How do you know when it's done too much? I know people are gonna really not like what I say, but if you see yourself, especially in these times where we indoors pretty much are not moving around enough and everything, and you blowing up, and you know, if you being honest with yourself, you counting. Well, how many times did I eat today? If you eat a whole bunch of times, you're probably a foodie. You're probably eating as a naf, not as a necessity. Do you understand? So, Frank's question, very good question. You have the right to eat the food that is eaten by the Jewish people, because it's called kosher, and it's supposed to be slaughtered basically in the same manner as the food of Muslims. Me, I don't like kosher food. I don't like kosher meat at all because of its smell and its taste. I don't know what process they use, but my wife sometimes tries to cut a corner for me because it's difficult where I live to find halal food. You have to travel to find halal meat. And you know, it's not always easy. So my wife would say, well, I got this from the kosher market, which I know is 100% a kosher market, no question. Sometimes I don't even know where it came from, but I'll start to eat and I say, wait a minute, this don't taste like meat from Atlantic Avenue. She said, no, I didn't get that from there. I had to get it from the kosher market. I can tell right away that, so if you can get through the taste, Frank, you know, you can eat it. It's not forbidden to eat kosher meat, but me personally, you know, I can't eat it. I don't like to eat it. I'll eat it in necessity, but you know, because you know we're allowed to eat it, but it just tastes funny to me. I'd rather eat cabbage than eating meat that, you know, tastes funny. So this is allegation against us. You don't have to have meat all the time. See, that's the first thing. You know, if you eat meat once in a while, alhamdulillah, you satisfied the sunnah, but you don't have to eat meat all the time. You know, you can eat so many different things Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us that we could eat in place of eating if we can't find halal meat. Did I answer you, Frank? Shake your head, I can see you. Okay, alhamdulillah. As you like, Habib.
Yes, Shaykh. I'm I'm struggling with your guy right here. Alhamdulillah, he's being good. He just want to be in the class. He want to start studying with you now.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Someone asked what I believe they were referring earlier. You mentioned water from flowers. They're asking what is water from flowers.
Water from flowers. Water from flowers is when you have the flowers and some water, you put water into it, and when you get ready to throw the flowers out because they're no longer, you know, in good shape, if you smell the vase or whatever you put the water into the flowers, that's water of flowers, because now that water has taken on the taste, color, and smell of the flowers. So whatever, it could be anything. It could be water of perfume, water of milk, see, water of onions, whatever goes into the water, that water, if it takes on its taste, color, and smell of that thing, which it always does, then that thing now is considered not of natural pure water, but the water of the thing that went into it. You understand? Okay. As you like.
Alhamdulillah. And the last question we have is right now, maybe the last one for the day. This is from Brother Abdullah. Alhamdulillah, my big brother Abdullah. Alhamdulillah.
Assalamu alaikum,
Alhamdulillah. He's asking, why is taste, and just so people know, I don't want anybody to get offended. When I don't mention everybody's names, I mention certain people's names that I know Shaykh Ameen is familiar with, because I know from experience he'll sometimes answer the question differently depending on who has the need. So if I don't mention your name, don't feel bad. I want people to know most of their questions will be anonymous, but people like Frank, people like Abdullah, that Shaykh Ameen I know knows very well, I'll sometimes say their name. So Brother Abdullah.
And Hajj Dawood, is Hajj Dawood there?
Hajj Dawood was here. Yes, he's still here.
Logged in, okay. Yeah. You know, them, I talk to them all the time. So yeah. Okay, as you like though. Let me have the question.
Naam. So Sidi Abdullah, Ustad Abdullah, he's asking the question, why is taste emphasized? Meaning
Why
as
does
one of
what?
why is taste emphasized? Do people actually taste test for impurity? Meaning the way that taste is one of the things that if it changes, it becomes impure.
What is emphasized is, how do you know it's natural water? And you ever looked at okay. Many times, you know, we who are kind of spoiled by where we live on the earth, the place we live in, or this modern mechanisms and technology, this wasn't always the case. So, you know, the books of fiqh that we're using are books that were written before these eras, these modern eras. And this type of information in those times was of the utmost importance because they helped people judge how they were living their life based on what, what was available to them. So one of the things in regards to water is that if you were traveling the land and you came across water and you wanted to know whether you can use it or not, the way to judge it was through its taste, color, and smell. So sometimes you may not have to taste it because you can smell it being rancid from a distance. Or you could look at it and you could see that something is inside that water that's not natural, and you will know, can't use that for purity. But if all else failed and you took a small taste of it, you would know immediately that's not water, that's something else. So it's not just that taste is not emphasized, it's one of the things that you have the ability to test for, water's purity. In order for you if you got one of those two things that's not right, one of those three things that's not right, then the water itself is something's wrong with the water. So it has to be all three of those things that the conditions say this is water. It's just, maybe it's water from the grass. As the water comes through the land, it picks up a slight taste of grass or smell of trees, or that's okay as long as it's in a natural source. But when you add things to the water that are not from a natural source, that's something different. That's when they say the taste, color, and smell of the water has changed. It's not because of the way the water comes to us, but of what's something that was done to the water itself. Okay, that's the best I can answer that question in this small amount of time. And next week we're gonna go and we're gonna tear this subject apart, inshallah, until it becomes very clear, what is considered as pure natural water. Okay, if there's more, I'll listen.
That looks like that's it. Muhammad.
Okay, good. Abdullah, if you didn't completely understand, don't worry about it. Just call me on the telephone.
Mommy, Daddy, stop!
Uh-huh.
Why did you say Assalamu alaikum to Shaykh Ameen?
Alaikum salam, Muhammad. Okay. Thank you so much for coming to this class. I do understand that this class seems to be, doing well with the people in general. I'm happy about that. invite your friends, you know, because the standard of Islam is you want for your brothers, sisters, what you want for yourself. You have to understand, I'm way past the point of trying to be a popular figure. I don't really, that's not my thing. So, you know, if I can help the people by, you know, giving them information, alhamdulillah, but don't look for somebody who, you know, don't bring your friends to me thinking I'm gonna have apologetic understanding of Islam or you know, I'm gonna try to be nice, but if you don't act nice, I'm gonna let you know you're not being nice. And I don't have to take nobody trying to be oppressive. So anyway, inshallah, you know, I'm happy to be able to do some work with you, and I hope that it will continue and benefit the community. Allahumma inna nasta'inuka wa nastaghfiruka wa nu'minu bika wa natawakkalu alayka wa nuthni alayka al-khayra kullahu nashkuruka wa la nakfuruk wa nakhna laka wa nathlahu wa natruku man yaghfiruk. Allahumma iyyaka na'budu wa ilayka nusalli wa nasjudu wa ilayka nasa wa nafidu narju rahmataka wa nakhafu azabak inna azabaka jiddu bil kafirina murhik. So Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told us in times of difficulty, which we are in right now, we're in times of difficulty right now. And, you know, we should recite that Qanut. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept it from us. May He answer us and give us the security of Islam until our dying day. اللهم إني أسألك من كل خير سألك منه محمد نبيك صلى الله عليه وسلم وأعوذ بك من كل شر استعاذك منه محمد نبيك صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم اغفر لنا ما قدمنا وما أخرنا وما أسررنا وما لنا وما أنت علم به ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار اللهم إني أعوذ بك من الماء والممات ومن فتنة القبر ومن فتنة مسيح الدجال ومن عذاب النار وسوء المصير. My friend Abdul Kadus, I want to say Assalamu alaikum to him, and inshallah you call me and so we can talk later inshallah. Okay, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for visiting me. Thank you Habib. Thank you Isaac. Ajib, thank you so much for inviting me to do these classes, and inshallah I hope I will be able to continue and help the community at least until we get back to being able to go into the masjids and doing our class. And as I think it was Isaac who asked me, well, even after, for people who can't get to you easily because of the distance, you know, which will I do it for them? Absolutely, I will try and continue to do it for them. Okay, is that Yahya Abdul Hakam? Assalamu alaikum, Yahya. I'll talk to you soon, inshallah. Okay, Assalamu alaikum, Habib.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Jazakumullah khair. Thank you, Shaykh.
Assalamu alaikum, Frank. Assalamu alaikum, Hajj. Okay, I hope that this class has helped people, and maybe in the future, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will allow us to go back into the masjid and do our class as we have been doing for many, many years. Okay, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.